Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Eddy Charger. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're starting a new series. It's called How Good Did They Do? And we get to choose one lucky guest who doesn't know that we're doing it. Doesn't matter. But what we're doing is we're going to be reviewing their calls. And from a person who has done thousands of phone calls for wholesaling deals, whether it's cash or creative, I think I have a thing or two to say about how well they did. But more importantly, what were some of the things that they might have missed that I would have done better that you could learn from, and some of the exact same things that I used to do that if I knew better back then, I would have got further along much, much faster. So lock in, check it out. Today, our first guest is my guy, Kevin Choe. He's done hundreds of wholesale transactions and he specializes in doing creative finance. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the deals that he's done making phone calls to agents because he is specialized in doing direct to agent and also with seller finance, which is direct to seller. We're going to take a look at some of those, listen to what he has to say, and just give my honest opinion on what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, and how good he does. And to be honest with you, if he sucks, I'm going to say he sucks, right? Because I'm from New York. We got to tell the truth all the time. It's a Brooklyn thing, all right? So let's lock in.
2023, we're gonna make some cold calls. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, Kevin, how do you make cold calls for these listing agents? And I'm gonna show you right now, and I'm gonna show you how to do it on PropStream. So you don't ever have to worry about, oh, I don't even know what to say. Just make it up. Share my screen. This is a PropStream, and this is a filter that I put in. And if you have any questions about the filters, go back to the video that I made beforehand, and you can watch this video. So if you can see this filter, we're gonna look at this house listed for $394. We're gonna call this one.
All right, so really quick, I do want to point out he's using PropStream. PropStream is really, really good. It's a platform. If you don't know about it, you should definitely lock in. I've used it very well in the past. I mean, even to this day, we still use PropStream. It is a core point in our business and how we are able to get data that PropStream is really, really good at getting. So if you want to get locked in with PropStream, definitely do. I have a link. I can send it to you. I'm not getting paid from it right now, so it doesn't even matter if you choose it or not. But I'm telling you, it's definitely worth it, even though this video is I don't know, a couple months old or whatever. It's definitely worth it. It's still got some kick to it for sure.
Hey, Layla, this is Kevin. I was calling about your listing on the 38th Street here in Yuma. So if you can give me a call back, that'd be great. Thanks.
All right. So first thing I want to point out is about the voicemail that he left. When you're calling agents, understand, shout out to all my agents that are out there. We do a lot of work with agents. If you're calling agents, they don't pick up the first time. That's going to happen. It's not like they choosing to ignore your call, even though some agents do. But you also have some bad plumbers. You also have bad mechanics, right? Every industry has their own thing. So when you're calling an agent, make sure that you do what I do, which is I double dial back to back. So if I called you the first time you didn't pick up, I'm calling you right back the second time. And I might even call you the third time if I'm really interested in a deal. And I mean back to back to back. Why do I do this? I'm trying to press upon the agent that there's urgency in my phone call and that I am the one, right? I'm the call that they want to pick up. And you'd be surprised, a lot of agents will pick up on the second or third time because they missed your call, they were in a bad area, or they will tell you like, "Hey, I picked up because I saw that you called me twice. Like, is everything okay?" It's like, "Oh, absolutely. I'm just so excited. I want to talk to you about this deal," and then go straight into it. Right? Don't feel bad about like, well, I don't know. I feel like that's excessive trying to call them that many times. It's like, well, I also feel that it's very excessive to be broke. So which would you rather, right? Do you want to reach out to this person and do your best to be able to figure out if you guys can make a deal work that would put money in both their and your pocket? Or are you going to still be about your feelings because you had to double dial somebody to save the day? All right, let's go.
Okay.
I
Do I
was
know you?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Hey, I was calling about your listing on 38th Street here in Yuma.
Okay.
You still happen to have that available?
It is.
Perfect. So hey, here's the thing: is I'm from California, and I work remote, and I'm thinking of moving to Yuma so I can drive back and forth. So I'm like Southern California area, where
Okay.
where if I want to go to beach, I can. It's like
Okay, so What Kevin's doing right now is he's telling a story so that it can give more validation to the agent. The agent, as you can tell from their tone and just like how they're not really engaging. I mean, she started off with like, "Do I know you?" Which troubles me sometimes because like you have your phone number on the internet for people to call you about this house, and your response is, "Do I know you?" So is the agent being a good agent right now? No. However, doesn't change the fact having a story really really helps. Now I know a lot of people that follow me sometimes are getting getting started into wholesaling or want a bird dog. It is actually very good to have a story very similar but make it your own. So if you're a bird dog, you want to come out the gate and say, "Hey, listen, I work for an investor. He's buying 3 or 4 properties. He's looking to buy because of this reason." And if you've gotten to any of my bird dog trainings, and you will know you should have what your anchor is looking for. You should have their buy box. So you can say, "I'm looking for deals for my anchor. He's my buyer. He's buying 3 or 4 properties a month. He's looking for properties that are X, Y, and Z. I can actually send you their buy box after we have this conversation. But this property looked like it could fit that criteria. So I just want to have a conversation with you, get some more details so I can send this over to him." Boom. Or you can have another story where it's like, "Hey, look, it's myself and my partner. We're looking for more properties. We saw this property here. We're interested. We're doing a lot in the affordable housing, group home, co-living space. And so wanted to get your thoughts on, do you think this would be a good deal? Because we need to buy at least 2 for fulfillment in the next 30, 60 days." Right? There's so many different stories that you can make up, but the reality is you want to make up a story that is real to the situation of who you're looking for a deal for. Does that make sense? Like if you're looking to buy a deal, then tell your own story. "I'm just getting started. I was working with a partner. He taught me everything he knows, and so now I am looking to buy my first rental property." Or, "I'm working with a gentleman that is paying me to bring deals to his way, and so I'm looking to build a relationship with an agent that can supply me deals, and I can put right in front of him. He has money that is burning a hole in his pocket, and I'm just trying to find the right agent to work with." Is that you? You got to make it worthwhile for the person that's on the other line, or even though they have money that they have the possibility to earn, they won't care. You have to paint that story and paint the picture. What Kevin's trying to do here is paint that story of his need, but it doesn't really align yet. And we'll hear the rest of the call, but it doesn't really align yet with what the agent wants to accomplish. And so she's continuing to not give a fuck, really.
2 hours away, but I don't have to like pay the price of San Diego.
Okay.
So I was just kind of thinking of what your thoughts were on the Yuma market or just this house in general.
Okay. Do you want to buy the house?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been pre-qualified?
No, I'm just kind of exploring the market right now.
Okay. What do you need me to tell you about the market?
Well, I just want to see like what the lifestyle is like in Yuma, and do a lot of people like go from San Diego back and forth to Yuma, and what's that like?
No. Only if they have a job here, unless you're extremely fluent or affluent to go back and forth. A lot of people go and play in San Diego,
Right.
but to back and forth to work, because it's not that far. That's strictly up to you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about that, but
So this agent is really making it hard for him. But the problem here is the agent doesn't feel that there's anything invested for her to be able to do. And based off of Kevin's story here, it almost sounds like what Kevin actually needs is not a realtor, but like a trip advisor, or like, someone that can kind of give him insights where he can get from Google. And that's not really her job. Her job is to sell this property, which she probably has been having a hard time sell. So imagine having somebody call you about a very expensive property, and they're like, "Well, tell me about the area and this, then, or third." Again, you got to find ways to connect with the other person and make it so that it makes sense for them. Why should they be spending extra time on the phone? Sometimes as investors and as, wholesalers or bird dogs or connectors, whatever it is, right? if you're the person with the money, sometimes what can happen is because you're the person with the money, you feel that, hey, listen, I'm the one with the money, so I'm entitled to getting whatever treatment that I'm supposed to be getting, right? Because I got the money. Well, the reality is it's not how it actually works, right? Like, even though you have the money, if you truly want to drive deals back to back to back and you want to have a great relationship with the people that you're doing business with, you got to do it in a way that even though you have the money, you're allowing them to be able to bring value to you as well. It's not just you with the money that is the value. They got to have value to bring. And in order to do that, you got to let them know how they can participate in that.
That would be extremely just up to you on what you want to, what you can afford, what you want to do, how you want to do it.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of cash setting aside too, so that's always an option too.
Yeah, sure. It's all, cash is always good, but I don't know what you want from me.
I just wanted to see like what you're like what's can you tell me about the listing, this house in general? What's the like real estate market in Yuma? Is this priced fairly well? I'm just trying to get some information,
Yeah, they're all comfortably paired well. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The market in Yuma is good, and it has been, and it goes ups and down. But we're all in all fairly a lot more steady than most of the nation because of where we are.
A lot of people coming from Phoenix, Tucson, Mexico, people like me from San Diego, right?
Yeah, people like you from California and other areas. And the normal transitioning businesses for people moving in, moving out, but we're pretty stable here.
Yeah.
Probably definitely a lot more stable in California, but Arizona's a very stable place to live and a very people friendly.
Right.
So here's the problem with the story that he chose, right? Now she's like, you know what? I don't know, maybe she was eating and put her sandwich down and she's like, okay, now let me have this conversation, right? But now she's giving a bunch of information that is useless. Like, do we care? I don't care. If I'm looking to buy a property in this area, I already know everything that I need to know, which is why I'm calling to buy a property in this area, right? And so what's happening, this agent is now gone from, how can I help you? What do you want? To, okay, this is a brand new newbie who knows nothing about the area. They don't even know, just they're green as green can be. Let me help educate. So you're spending a bunch of time on the phone now. You're not talking about the deal. You're not talking about money as far as like what needs to be done. What is the seller looking for? How can you help? And you're already 3-4 minutes in, and essentially, this is why agents don't want to pick up phone calls, right? Because they don't want to have conversations that are just going in a circle or leads to nothing. And unfortunately, that's part of the game. So you still need to pick up your phone, agents. But again, that's why, right? So you got to make sure, no matter what, make it about the other person on the line, and you'll never have a problem them picking up the phone.
Right.
Not a lot of transients. The military comes and goes, but they usually buy and go and stay. It's pretty stable. It's a stable economy.
I see.
It's a good place to be.
I see.
And driving back and forth is not that far. There's a lot of people that do come and go, mainly for vacation, and some have moved here for reasons that they just want to live in Arizona instead of California now.
Makes sense. And the taxes is also, it's like 2 hours away. Would you rather drive 2 hours back and forth to go to the beach, or would you live in California and have to pay the California taxes,
Yeah. And you've been living there how long in California?
12 years.
So you're better equipped to know about taxes than I am. I just know because I go visit that the taxes are a little bit higher than they are here. And this is a little more stable economy. California, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful place to live. Just a little expensive.
Just a little bit more.
More expensive, yes. Yeah. A little bit, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
You
Yeah.
get more for your money here, of course, obviously. I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know. And if you want to drive back and forth, and if do you work? Do you have a job there?
But I invest in real estate in like different states. So like I take money, um, you know, I make money doing real estate and then I put that money into buying rentals and stuff. But
Sure.
So see, that actually would have been a better story to start out with, right? Like, hey, I'm an investor. I buy properties. I'm from California. And now I'm just looking for a place to put my money that I can travel back and forth to. I might use this as like my own personal home. And then when I'm not there, I'll probably rent it out and some stuff. So just calling, I like the setup of it. I know this neighborhood is kind of nice, but I don't know too much details. So if you can give me some feedback on it and also what is the seller looking? I don't want to kind of beat around the bush. I definitely want to help them, but I'm also looking for a deal that makes sense for me. And I want to get you paid too, because I might look to buy even more properties out here. And so I would want to be able to do that with an agent that I know, like, and trust. Chef's kiss. There's no agent that's going to not answer that phone call for you and have the conversation and do everything that is possible, because to you, you're a gold mine for them, right? They're looking for people like that.
I'm looking at the Zillow. It looks like the homeowner just bought the house. Is there anything wrong with the house, or they just like screw Yuma?
We have a military sector, a border patrol sector. We have Marines, Army, Border Patrol, and everybody's in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
That's just
the Marine Corps is there, right? From what I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps is here. We have the Army at the Human Proving Grounds, and we have a large border patrol sector. So everybody is transferred in and out, and they never know when or what. So
yeah,
that's what happens to most of our houses, and most of them are to good people, and this particular house is an excellent neighborhood.
Yeah.
And there's very few houses come available in this neighborhood. It just so happened that they got transferred out. So
yeah,
that's what happens. That's why some of these houses, these families will buy it, and then boom, all of a sudden they're transferred out.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. I was just curious because it's like usually people live in the house, 3 to 5 years, and whenever I see something that's been just bought and they're sold, I'm like, what's the story here?
Yeah, well, they're transferred.
Yeah.
We've so much going on here in that mode.
Yeah.
And it's a very normal situation for all of us here because they're transferred. You're in the military and the border patrol. It's government.
Yeah.
You go where they tell you to go.
Right. So matter of fact, I actually bought a home from a veteran in Yuma like last year. I have a house on the 9th Avenue. I bought it. They owned it for like 3 months.
Okay, so here he's going to piece it together. He's right. He's pulling from a past experience that is credible, that he can use story to relate it to this one so that it can kind of draw everything together. However, what I would have done is I would have gotten that story out much sooner, right? As soon as she had mentioned something about like, oh, this belonged to veterans and so they had to change up, I would be like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This would be so cool if I bought this house, because my partner and I, the last property that we purchased probably like 2-3 months ago, it was the same type of situation. That's kind of crazy how things work out. But I've been recognizing that a lot of them that are in scenarios like this, they have no other choice. Like they have to sell, and that other deal was a great thing for me. I got it at such a great price. The agent made so much money on it. It was crazy. But do you happen to have a lot of different situations like this one here? You run into that a lot? So you see what I just did there? Like, one, I quickly made it so that she can understand. It's like, hey, I'm familiar with this type of thing. I totally get it. But the other thing that I did is I dropped some lines in there about how it benefited the agent. So I made it familiar for me, and then I made her want to have to put herself in this situation so that she can be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, he sounds like he has no problem paying agents a lot of money on this deal. And then I'm asking her, beyond this deal, Do you come across a lot of these? Is this something that happens a lot? Are you familiar with that? Because I want to give a leading impression that if you can bring me more of these, I would buy them. Right. So again, it's about building the relationship in several different layers so that even if this deal doesn't work, it doesn't matter. We now have something to move forward on, right? A lot of times, the deal that you're calling on is not going to work, especially on that first call, right? You're going to need a lot of touches, a lot of follow ups to be able to make it work. But that's fine, that's part of the game. But you want to be able to set it up so that the relationship allows for more to come in the future so that you don't have to spend all your time calling agents all day long. Those agents are calling, emailing, texting you about deals because you made it again about them and you, make it a us thing as opposed to you and your need.
And they're selling it, so I'm like, okay. So I bought it from that. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. There's nothing shifty or shady. It just they're and they're selling, unfortunately for them because they enjoyed their home, but they've got to go where they go, and that's how that works. And like I said, you're aware of that. You bought a house, and nothing wrong with the house. Dadgummit, they just had to leave.
Okay, yeah. I mean, are you guys?
And that's it.
I'm curious. Are you guys trying to get like a certain number? Because I imagine like they bought they just bought the house.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
We are, and we have priced it accordingly. And the comps around, it's very comparable to everything else because of the area, the good neighborhood, the good area. It's a very safe area. It's a great neighborhood. Very rarely do you have homes come available in this area because people want to live there.
Got it. Yeah, I was just curious because like I imagine if they're military, they probably put like no money down and selling it again. So I mean, where do you think I need to be? Like pretty close to the asking price for me to even.
So before we get into that, I do want to point out so far we spent like 8 minutes on the phone, and most people would have been like, oh man, they haven't even talked about price or anything like that. But what Kevin is doing very well here, I might add, is he's looking to build a relationship. So he's opening up so that they can have the conversation. I would have went about it a little bit different by layering, like I mentioned before, dropping a couple of things in there. But that's all he's doing in this time, right? He's connecting, he's trying to build a relationship with her. I mean, look, this is a lady who, when she first picked up the phone, said, "Do I know you?" And now she's 8 minutes in, and she's answering and talking and having all the questions. Now, does this mean that this is going to lead to a closed deal just because you can get somebody to stay on the phone with you? No, it doesn't, right? You still need to get to the point and make it happen. This is why I like the layer, right? Think of it like a basket that's weaving, right? You want to make sure that you can have those things in place so that you can do two birds with one stone type of thing.
Have a shot at it.
Close. Yeah, pretty close to the asking price to get a shot at it. They just had an offer that was pretty close to that asking price, and they turned it down. It's showing a lot. The offers are there, but they're staying pretty close to it.
Okay, got it.
Hey, I mean, everything's negotiable to a point, but they're trying to stick as close to that as they can. Yes, sir.
How about this? How about I offer fairly close to the 450? Is it okay if I come in and take over the mortgage payment?
Hello?
I was asking, how about I offer close to 450, but I come in and take over the mortgage payment?
No, they will turn that down.
They will turn that down?
Yeah.
Even, how about I raise up the price to maybe 460? So maybe they, okay, so.
No, that's a dead set no from them.
From them,
We
okay.
were at a couple of those offers, and we have strictly turned them down.
Got it. All right.
If you want to buy it flat out with cash, title and all, like a normal purchase price, that's perfect. Otherwise,
Okay, so here's a couple of things, and we'll see if he goes into. In fact, let's see if he goes into it first.
no, we won't do that.
Got it.
It's a good idea. I get it. It works for some people, but it won't work for this bunch.
Yeah. No, I figure because I don't want to be offensive and do low ball. But at the same time, I want to explore. All I wanted to do was explore some options. So if totally cool if you guys aren't open to it, but at least I ask,
No, that's fine. You can ask all you want.
Yeah.
But knowing what you're saying now, knowing where you're coming from, that's hard and fast no from them. And I've got the okay from them to do this because we've been approached before.
Perfect.
Hard, fast no.
Alrighty.
But if you want to buy the house straight up,
which I could,
that's fine by us. But no,
Yeah.
not. Can't do what you want to do, but good luck, because that's not a bad deal. It works for some and some for.
Okay, so it didn't go the direction I thought it was gonna go. So what I would have did there is I would have found out like why did they say no, right? We finally got her to come over to our side. She said she got a couple of these before, so I would have asked like, well, why are they saying no? Are they not able to see the value from it and being able to get their price, or maybe it would give her some inkling to give me some more details on like, well, they need all the money up front so they can go do X, Y, and Z. Granted, this listing looked like it was only 16 days old, so there was still time on the map. So another way you could have played it was like, hey, listen, let's do this because I like the price point, but I am looking at some other deals. But I do like this property. I like this area. You've done such a great job helping me out making this decision. How about we do this? I will just put me in the back burner, right? If let's call it another 15, 20 days or whatever. If they're not getting the numbers that they want, put me on the back burner. I would love to, here's what I would love to do. I would love to come in. I would take care of closing costs. I think that's pretty standard now, but I'll take care of closing costs. I will cover your commissions, and I'm just being transparent. I want to cover your commissions because I want to build a relationship with you. I want to pay. Plus, that helps the seller keep a little bit more money in their pocket. But in order for me to be able to do that, I want to buy it at the price that they're looking to sell it for. Like I'll buy it at retail price as long as I can get terms. If I can get terms that make sense for me, because again, part of the time I'm not even going to be living there. I want to turn it into like a rental. So I just need for it to make sense for me on my end, and I can take over their mortgage and still pay them full price for their property, and I can make it work. But only keep that as an option if somebody else doesn't come along and give them the cash value that they want. Does that make sense, Miss Agent? So is it making sense? Like put me on the back burner that how to have the breaking case of emergency thing. Like I'll come in then, but right now it's still so new and I have these other properties that I'm looking at. I much rather kind of work on those other properties. And if this one is still available, then maybe we can have that conversation and something could come up. You see what I just did there? Like I developed a relationship. I made her part of my team. Now she doesn't have this like snarky attitude of like, if you can buy it like a normal person or whatever it is she said, right? Like, because that's what ends up happening. If they have some form of false understanding of how a creative deal works, or whoever explained it to them was a bonehead and explained it the wrong way, or explained something and couldn't answer the right question the right way, or whatever. There's a million different ways. And listen, you all have gone through the same thing too. I can almost guarantee you someone told you about something and you was like, what are you talking about? That sounds so wrong. And then you're like, no, I'm telling you it works. It does it, or it does whatever. And then you have somebody else who has more credibility, more understanding, is able to explain it better and show you proof and etc. And you're like, oh, okay, I get that now. I didn't understand it before when they explained it, but I totally understand it when you said it. We've all experienced that because it's what truly happens. So that's what you got to be able to do when you're dealing with agents and you're talking about a deal, especially understanding the timeline of the deal. If it's anywhere between 0 to 90 days of the listing, if they don't sound like they're ready for a creative offer, be that breaking case of emergency backup offer for them, right? Focus on building a relationship because maybe this deal doesn't work, but they might have another deal while you're waiting for that 90 days that's past 90 days that they can say, well, what do you think about this one?
It won't work here, but good luck.
Yeah,
good luck
no,
to you.
I appreciate it.
I
Yeah,
understand what you're doing exactly. I understand exactly what you're doing. So go for it.
yeah. I've done a handful of deals like this in Yuma specifically just this year. So I'm like, let's just buy one. Let's just buy clusters of them in Yuma if I can. But no worries, totally fine.
I appreciate the call.
I appreciate you.
All right, you take care and have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
All right. Well, again, I got to commend him. She started the call with the, do I know you? And now, they hung up, had a great conversation 10 minutes or so later. I think it's fantastic, right? It's a lot of lessons to learn from this. One of the other things I would have did is when I'm ending every phone call that I do with an agent, especially if we kind of hit it off, right? If we are now friend requesting each other is what I call it. Which is not like deep, right? It's just like, we cool. I can call you back and you probably would remember me, or we can have a conversation. What I try to do is find out what other ways we can make money together, right? And sometimes I even say, hey, this one didn't work, but do you have any other properties? Or look, I'll be honest, I'm just trying to see if there's other ways that we can make money together. I have a friend of mine who has a bunch of capital that he's looking to lend for investing. If maybe you work with investors and they need some private money lending, maybe I can kind of make that connection for you. I just really like you. You worked with me. We're talking on the phone for 10 minutes or so. You didn't have to do that. I really appreciate you. There's not a lot of good agents out there like you. And so I just want to be able to find ways where I can help put money in your pocket. And hopefully one of these days we can do a deal together as well. Right? Make it a win-win-win always. And you'll never run out of business. You'll never run out of opportunities. You'll never run out of relationships. So that was our first episode of How Do You Do? I will give him. I'm not gonna give him a grade because that's not the point. The point is just to point out certain things that I would have done or not do or done differently or whatever, just so that you can kind of get a different perspective on some of the great people that are out here making calls, recording it, putting it online so that you can see that, one, they're doing the work, and two, this is what it really looks like. This is what it takes. This is how you get done hundreds of deals, creative finance, by making phone calls just like this several times a day. And just do it, man. Just do it. Like, record yourself, put yourself online, or send your recording to me. I'll critique it. I'll give you some feedback. And know what? I'll even do one better. We'll do deals together. All right. Boom. That's it for episode 1. Stay charged up. Peace.